fast-talking hustler, professional swindler, arch criminal, and part-time mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, he's been fast-talking double time, because I think he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Now, if people were watching Fox and Friends this morning, Mayor McStupid was on there with Tom Homan, and I think he was pulling a fast one right there. Because he met with Homan. They had some kind of special meeting last night that Tom Homan mentioned. You know, they went out to dinner with all kinds of cops. I wonder who was there and who was picking up the check. Sketchy Chinese dudes wearing black. But he said that they arrived at some kind of special deal for the mayor, you know, to allow ICE agents to have an office in Rikers Island. Can you believe that? That this is a negotiation? He didn't say anything about what's going on at hotels like the Roosevelt or the Walcott, but there's a bigger deal going on. It's got to do with this whole dropping of the case against Eric Adams. And there's an open question here as to whether or not there was some sort of a quid pro quo deal made. I mean, it's basically in writing that there was, but some kind of quid pro quo deal where Eric Adams is saying, oh, okay, I'll agree to uphold the law even though I'm the mayor of the largest city in the United States of America and I'm inherently bound to adhere to federal law. Make me some kind of offer that's a special benefit to me and I'll do it. Appears to be what's playing out. And see, what doesn't quite make sense is who the hell is on which side of this argument, because bloated, cockeyed pig, disgusting, wretched bitch Letitia James just had a press conference about an hour ago down at the courthouse. Now, look at this. They're still selling illegal food over there. Nobody's done anything. NYPD is just not enforcing the law. And that's Eric Adams' purview. Now, do we still have loads of people entering this place to be processed? Maybe they've cleared them out. But we got 2 Igloo coolers here. 3 Igloo cooler stations. They're on the phone. They might be saying, oh, Jason's here. Hide your face. So, Tish James has her press conference soon. Danielle Sassoon was the actor for the Southern District of New York. That's a federal prosecutor. She was presiding over federal charge in New York. Federal law. This is not about Fox first hit on the over here. That stopped me. It's full signal. Somebody wanted me to get some kind of complicated radio equipment to figure out. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not going to do that. What am I going to do? I'm going to figure out it's the cops or these friggin' criminals who are using equipment. They can see I'm over here. I'm live on a channel. There's a lot of things they could do to disrupt this broadcast. I hope I didn't. Somebody's opening an omakase lunch restaurant right here? That's nuts. Who's going to that? I guess the migrants can use their $4,000 Eric Adams credit cards here. But did I just get knocked off the broadcast right out of the gate? I'll be so disappointed. No, we're still going. So, wait, is somebody saying what's illegal? What food is illegal? Liz, you cannot just set up a stand and sell food to the public in the middle of New York City. It's illegal. You need to be a licensed vendor of food so that the public can have the confidence that you're not making your sandwiches with dog shit and poison. Please, let's try to minimize the stupid comments. It's illegal for migrants to show up with igloo coolers and sell food, and it undermines the tax base of the city. People who came here legally and worked hard to open delis and work at restaurants and stuff like that. Every single sandwich sold by these illegal criminals is money lost by people paying into the tax base of the city. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's little kids and they're not criminals. Get all of these people out of here, because Eric Adams is stealing money from us. Now let's talk about what's going on with the case. Has not been dropped. Okay, now here's what's interesting. Barb McQuaid, who is a lawfare criminal, Andrew Weissman associate and friend, she says DOJ leadership, this was minutes ago, they put all the public integrity section lawyers into a room with 1 hour to decide who will dismiss Eric Adams' indictment, or else they're all going to be fired. And she, Barb McQuaid, is sending them strength to stand by their oath, which is to support the Constitution, not the president's political agenda. So, see, that's the thing. Why Trump, when he was asked in the Oval Office, he said he wasn't directly involved in this and didn't know about it. I hope that's true. Although that would be bad too, because that would mean that his former attorney, Emil Bove, who he assigned to be the interim attorney general, the acting attorney general before Pam Bondi was confirmed by the Senate, he's the one who wrote the letter. Now, let's think about that for a second. That in and of itself reeks of somebody trying to shtup something in there in between the cracks when it's not the Biden attorney general and it's not the official. How much thought did Trump put into the interim attorney general or the acting attorney general rather than the person who he really wanted to appoint attorney general? I don't know the answer to that, but it just reeks of somebody trying to get something over the line. I don't know much about this guy, Emil Bove, but so far I'm not a big fan. We also heard this morning from Joel Gilman that he was telling us, I didn't know this, Pam Bondi LM, she mistake, perhaps a series of mistakes. George, all that public pressure, the guy, violent adult guy and beat. I mean, listen, being overpowered by overpower you. It hits you in. You fucking bitch. That's what I. Point is, oh yeah, no, this is the right thing to do, to not drop the prosecution against Eric Adams, but wait a minute. Something's wrong. Something is wrong, because we know from Sal that Letitia James was there at Con Sofrito with Eric Adams. She's photographed smiling with Jimmy Rodriguez. She's absolutely involved and implicated in these crimes. I have not been as up to speed on the Letitia James property ownership issues as some other people are, but we got to get on that right away. And by we, I mean whoever has the ability to prosecute Letitia James. So if Basically, what Letitia James is saying that is the right thing to do for Danielle Sassoon to not drop the charges. That means Letitia James agrees with charging Eric Adams. That raises the question of why the hell didn't she do it? Why didn't she do it? Isn't that her job? She's the Attorney General of New York. She's busy prosecuting the President of the United States and Elon Musk, or suing them at least. She should not be doing that. If she agrees with Danielle Sassoon that Eric Adams needs to be prosecuted, why, Letitia James, did you not bring charges against him? By the way, the whole charging document, forgive me, not the charging document, the letter that Danielle Sassoon sent to Pam Bondi, it laid out all the details. Eric Adams was telling us this morning on Fox and Friends that he's like, hey, I just let somebody, give a certificate of occupancy to a building. This is not a crime. This is, weaponizing and blah, blah, blah. He will not touch the straw donor aspect of this because that is just amazing millions of dollars of theft. And that's all written about in the 8-page letter from Danielle Sassoon. Danielle Sassoon to Pam Bondi. She's saying, we have this guy, Mohammed Bahi, and that other dude from Turkey. They are ready to plead against Eric Adams. These are witnesses. There's financial records of crimes, money getting sent all over the place, migrants in these hotels. So how can Letitia James agree that it would be, a constitutional crisis to drop these charges, but she didn't bring them? By the way, if she was worried, couldn't she bring state charges against the mayor and say, you know what, we support Danielle Sassoon so much that it no longer matters what happens with these federal charges, because today my office is charging Eric Adams for these crimes with the New York statutes. She didn't do that. She was out there in front of 500 Pearl Street yapping about how Elon Musk is looking at people's social security numbers. First of all, do you honestly care? What's he going to do with that? You don't want scammers to have your social security number, but how much money do you have in the bank? You think Elon Musk wants to steal your money? I think the guy's got more money than him and his 15 kids could spend in 3 lifetimes. It's just so hollow, these things that these morons are saying, but I'm trying to sort out the logic problem here. Now, I don't know when Barb McQuaid sent her stupid tweet. Is anybody watching in front of Pacer? Can somebody get on Pacer and see if they've filed anything in this case yet? This Eric Adams catastrophe. Because, by the way, the other thing is the notes are missing. Is it buffering right now? It's playing fine for me. The law is the law. Law take away our freedom to choose. Liz, what are you talking about? You know something, Liz? You cannot choose to buy your food. You're annoying me. I'm blocking you now. Criminals selling food, and don't argue with me. Okay? Start your own channel if you want to argue about this. You don't have your freedom to choose to buy food from a criminal on the street. We don't just let anybody in the world come into the country and do whatever the hell they want because Liz wants to buy a dirty sandwich from a friggin' Igloo cooler. People just want to make me angry. So let's just see if anything has been filed on the docket. Find the case. Because something isn't adding up. It doesn't make sense. Why do Democrats like Barb McQuaid, who are obviously friends with Andrew Weissman, so they're saying don't dismiss it. They want Eric Adams to be charged. They want Eric Adams to be charged because they're trying to make you think that Trump wants Eric Adams not to be charged. What I think is going on is that some sort of cash arrangement has been made, and I don't have evidence to prove this. I'm speculating. I think some sort of cash deal has been made between Eric Adams via his attorney, Alex Spiro, and Emil Bove. Like somebody maybe paid Emil Bove and said, hey, make this go away. And for some number, millions perhaps, I don't know, for some amount of money, perhaps Emil Bove is trying to make that happen. There is still no motion pursuant to Rule 48A. No voluntary dismissal filed on the docket. So I don't know when Barb McQuaid posted that tweet exactly, but she's saying they sat them down in a room with an hour to go and they're all going to get fired unless somebody files this thing. So, you know, Joel is an extremely smart guy who does excellent research, but I want to correct something that he said that I don't agree with. He felt that this was not a big deal because from the time the DOJ says, okay, dismiss the case, until all the paperwork gets done and it gets filed, etc., that could be weeks. That's absolutely incorrect. All it takes is one, assistant U.S. attorney in that office, or the lead U.S. attorney, whoever is acting in that role, to write a one-paragraph motion that would literally say, whatever attorney on behalf of the United States of America seeks leave of the court to dismiss this case pursuant to the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 48A. And by the way, the thing that we're forgetting is it's leave of the court that they're asking for, meaning the court has to give permission to do it. So at the end of the day, whatever the Department of Justice says, this judge could just say no. How come none of them are appealing to Dale Ho to resist the Department of Justice? Why aren't they doing that? Dale Ho was appointed by Biden, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure this is a new judge because it's the Southern District of New York and I haven't seen this guy. Dale Ho. Isn't that his name? United States born, right? Office. American lawyer serving as a district court judge in the Southern District of New York. He's 48, this guy. He was the director of the American Civil Liberties Union Voting Rights Project. Sounds like a Democrat to me. Yeah, he's appointed by Joe Biden. Why aren't they just calling on Dale Ho to not grant the leave? Whoever they get in there to write this motion of voluntary dismissal, Judge Ho, you were appointed. Why doesn't that fat cockeyed bitch get out in front of the courthouse and appeal to Judge Ho? Because this, I have to guess, is Brer Rabbit style. Oh, please don't throw me in the briar patch, right? They want Trump to dismiss this, then pin it on him that, look, he's doing something crooked with Eric Adams. Because here's the other important thing that was laid out in Danielle Sassoon's letter. And you know what? I really do like and respect Douglas Mackey, and I think he's smart. I think he knows a lot of the ins and outs of court. He's saying Sassoon is crooked. I don't have any information. I don't have any reason to doubt that. And frankly, my interactions with prosecutors and lawyers for the city and just lawyers in general, I haven't met a single one of them who isn't lying in virtually every single thing they file. So it seems like a reasonable accusation from our friend Douglas. And then there's another guy who I don't know, who's on Twitter, who was laying out all kinds of information about his case where Danielle Sassoon lied to the Second Circuit. Again, I have no reason to doubt these guys. I'm not even trying to doubt them. I'm just saying, set all that aside and let's just look at this 8-page letter that she wrote, because everything in it, you know, it jives with reality. It makes sense. I mean, there's just tons of evidence. Eric Adams telling people to destroy evidence and lie to the FBI, that's suborning perjury. He knows he's under federal investigation and he's telling people to do that. That's a federal crime. That's got nothing to do with first-class plane tickets on Turkish Air or the certificate of occupancy for the stupid building at the UN. Eric Adams is an arch criminal. He is a swindler and a double-talking, fast-talking loser. So Steve Doocy on Fox and Friends, Peter Doocy's father, seems a very nice guy. Steve Doocy seems like a very nice guy. I don't know if he's the smartest guy, but he seems a polite fellow. He said during the interview with Eric Adams sitting there, oh, but the DOJ left this option open to bring the case back. Eric Adams said, no, they didn't. And Doocy said they did. And Eric Adams insisted that they didn't. And then he said, look, I don't get into the legalese. I pay Alex Spiro a lot of money to do that. It's like, yeah, by the way, where the hell did you get that money, Eric Adams? And Alex Spiro seems to have broken the law. That guy is a problem. He's Elon Musk's attorney. So I'll tell you what's getting ready to happen is this crap that Letitia James just filed with these 19 other, or however many the number was, attorneys general, where they're challenging the legality of Elon Musk to do whatever he's doing. This is like that scene in The Incredibles 2, where Mr. Incredible is going to the, I don't think it's Syndrome anymore in that movie, but he's going to the villain's lair and he's running down this hallway and they shoot this blob of tar at him. And he's like, huh? He's like, whoa, would you try to shake off the tar? And then pump another blob of tar and then bump, 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 bump. He just starts getting pelted with all these blobs. And before you know it, he's overwhelmed with tar and he can't move. That's what they're doing. It's coming out with some different screwy ruling that they're like, well, we'll go to appeal. It's taking months. And you may also notice, oh, look at this. This is some new technology. This is some new, maybe Jessica Tisch, because she was all into technology, but I think we saw this with Eric Adams. This is some kind of giant suction machine that makes it so you can't drive your car, obviously, and then you have to call them and pay and put in some code, or I don't know what. But I don't know, it strikes me that some kind of, not even necessarily digital technology, but I bet if you knew about science and temperature, I have a feeling there's something you could do to make that thing pop off. And I'm not suggesting that people should violate the law. People also shouldn't ride bicycles on the sidewalk, you fucking asshole! So if Letitia James was actually enforcing the law, instead of getting up the ass of the president every day, and she is a big fat pain in the ass, maybe this city wouldn't be a giant garbage dump right now, loaded up with criminals. Maybe. But there's something very screwy going on in this Eric Adams case. And if Trump were smart, he would give these Democrats what they want and not drop the case. We've got nothing but people breaking the law, riding bicycles on the sidewalk. Take it into the street. Why don't you go back to where you came from, you son of a bitch? You from China? Stick that up your ass and rotate it. Oh, you speak English. See, these people want to come here, break the laws, harm us. Why? Oh, he's just trying to earn a living delivering food. Do you think that guy pays taxes? Do you think that guy, if he hits somebody on a bicycle, forget about me. He crashes into an old lady and she's laying there bleeding. Is he going to stick around to make sure that the ambulance comes? And by the way, even if the ambulance comes, what's that going to do? It's going to be too late. We need to start focusing all these cops who are standing around drinking coffee and looking at their phone on getting those people off the street. They won't even come over here to help an infant child who looks like she's being sold. They don't care about that. And then you got Tom Homan. Eric Adams was on such a screed of bullshit on Fox and Friends. Oh, that's not the Walcott. He was on such a screed of bullshit. How you guys doing? Talking about, you see, I gotta watch that interview again, because Eric Adams said some things that caused Tom Homan to look at him like, what are you talking about, Willis? And then immediately after the interview, Eric Adams had to issue some kind of retraction. So it causes me to wonder, is Eric Adams like saying things to Tom Homan in private meetings and then saying different things in news conferences that contradict what he told Tom Homan, and then he says, oh, no, I misspoke, so that everybody, millions of people will see the Fox and Friends, and how many people will see the retraction? I just think that Eric Adams is a fast-talking swindler who's playing both sides of the fence here, and there's some sort of game being played. But if Letitia James supports Danielle Sassoon, I don't understand why she wouldn't bring state charges and say, look, this is moot. Doesn't matter what what Donald Trump's Department of Justice does, because we're not going to let him. What was that guy doing right there? Now wait, look at this. Is this new? This scaffolding in front of the Walcott? Was that there and I didn't notice it? Maybe it was. Doesn't seem like there's any activity here right now. I don't know. And then, people who are like, oh, Eric Adams is playing ball. It's all right. Listen, no. This is a big sticky mess that they're setting up. This is more lawfare, people. Lawfare, as I've said a million times, it's not just getting Trump into court on some ginned up charge. It's any kind of manipulation of the law. And this Eric Adams deal, something screwy is cooking. Barb McQuade, not to be trusted. I just can't fully wrap my head around what is going on. It's got to be a trick. So the people in the U.S. Attorney's Office, none of them want to drop it. And Barb is part of the lawfare squad. See, I don't know this guy, Emil Bove. What do people know about Emil Bove? I mean, he was part of the Trump defense team, right? Was it on the Stormy Daniels case or was it on the impeachment stuff? Let's look up Emil Bove. I know he was Trump's attorney. Associate Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Okay, so it's been updated 5 hours ago on Wikipedia. Boy, he was born in 1981. He's younger than me. And so he was preceded by Lisa Monaco. We know that. Legal career. Graduating law school, he clerked for Richard Sullivan in the SDNY. Interesting. And then in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Oh my God, he worked at Sullivan and Cromwell. Sullivan and Cromwell, isn't that... Allen Dulles, CIA law firm? So Bove and Blanche represented Trump in his election obstruction case, classified document case, and falsified business records case, which were lawfare cases. So is Emil Bove the controlled attorney sent there by lawfare who gained Trump's trust through all that stuff? I mean, that wouldn't have been the way that it would be set up, right? He would be there to make sure that Trump loses, but for whatever reason, when that didn't happen, now he's got Trump's trust and they're keeping him in reserve for something else. How long has Trump known Emil Bove? I don't think he can be trusted. So basically, the letter from Danielle Sassoon is saying that notes from the meeting were destroyed, but also the New York Times reported that Alex Spiro had asked the Justice Department to drop this case. See, now remember, Alex Spiro declined to represent Elon Musk in my case against the city of New York. That could have been because he was already involved in screwy business with Eric Adams, and that he knew that my case was going to bring that stuff to the surface. In fact, whatever was going on with Elon Musk coming to New York, and I presume requesting of the NYPD special permission to have his bodyguards carry concealed guns, perhaps through that negotiation, they learned of crooked stuff with the mayor. And then when it went sideways after one of their people attacked me and I brought a suit, it's possible that Alex Spiro just said, look, we don't want all this evidence coming out. I'm not going to be able to get into that court and start, I don't know. But he declined to represent Elon Musk, and that's strange, given that Brody v. Musk, Spiro represents him. It's $1 million. So, Charles had speculated, and it made sense. He said to me, listen, Jason, I don't know how many billionaires you've known, and the answer is 0. Actually, one guy, I don't know if he was a billionaire, but a friend of my ex-wife's husband, my ex-wife's friend, was married to a guy who I think might be a billionaire. Anyway, the point is I don't know that guy that well, and Charles was saying to me, these billionaire people have lawyers around them who are tasked with, don't even bother me unless this is a $300 million plus issue. So for a long time, we just presumed that Alex Spiro didn't have any time to talk to me because of that. But for some reason, he's appearing in state court in Texas and litigating so aggressively that he got sanctioned. Or at least there was a motion to sanction him. It might have been partially denied or taken back after the fact, but he's in there litigating aggressively in $1 million case, declined to represent Musk in my case. Why is that? The other thing that comes to mind then is, did Elon Musk say, hey, Donald Trump, let Eric Adams go? I don't know. But there is that Elon Musk-Alex Spiro connection. How did Elon Musk get Alex Spiro? I mean, how did Elon Musk, I know, he just pays him millions of dollars. How did Eric Adams get Alex Spiro to be his attorney, and how can he afford the bills? How can he afford the bills? This is a mystery. So it's got to be a trick, right? When things happen in court that don't make sense, that's lawfare. So now that we know that, figuring out exactly what the hell is going on is a whole other story. Michael Cohen 2.0. Exactly, Brad. You know, I think that's got to be the case, because that's another major component of lawfare. They want to control your attorney. And I think that's what Emil Bove is. He's a lawfare plant. He's the next Jonathan Snyder. This is bad. And you know what? It takes me back maybe more than a year ago. Laura Loomer helped me out. We went to dinner, and I kind of, debriefed her on the whole Twitter coup issue. And she told me she wanted me to get it to Trump's attorneys. And so she put me in touch, I think, with Boris Epshteyn. Here, the weed store is back. And I sent him all this stuff. Never heard anything. And I was like, well, I guess they're busy. But now, it makes me wonder if they didn't say, oh, we can't give this to Trump. This is actual information. This will help. We got to 86 this. I don't know. But what's going on right now, it just doesn't make sense. Right on its face, right there. Why isn't Letitia James bringing state charges if she's unhappy with the possibility that somebody under Donald Trump's control could release this case? She has the power to bring a case right now. She could just say, based on the evidence in this federal indictment, we're impaneling a grand jury and indicting, state charges for Eric Adams. Boom, right here. Right? I mean, is there something wrong with my logic? What do people think about this? Does this make any sense to anybody that it's not making to me? Maybe somebody can make heads or tails of this and help us understand. By the way, thanks to the 2 people who have joined on Odyssey in the past 2 days. You've still got until the end of February to use a regular credit card on Odyssey. As little as $3 a month, plus a 58-cent Odyssey fee. God, that's loud. It's the most economical way to support the show. And if you become a member on Odyssey, you're going to have a full month of access to the sponsor-exclusive content, even after they switch to their new payment system, which I don't yet have the details of. So you're not going to lose anything at all. Become a sponsor on Odyssey, or go to crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com, or certainly subscribestar.com, or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I always forget to remind people that you can subscribe now on X at JG_CSTT. You can subscribe on there and access sponsor exclusive content. But the thing that Letitia James is trying to do is to stop Elon Musk and his team of technical people from making the government more efficient. She doesn't want that. She wants Congress to do that. They've failed at it for 250 years. So instead of bringing in the guy who's revolutionized electric motors and cars and manufacturing and rockets and what else has he done? All this stuff, satellite internet, and not that he's done that personally, but the guy who orchestrates the teams that make those things happen. It's complicated work, and people know I got no shortage of issues with Elon Musk, but in terms of putting him in charge of big, complicated processes, I think he's better than most of the people in Congress, and he's been making good progress so far, and he should be allowed to continue. Pam Bondi is on it. Well, Gunther, the problem is we just heard earlier today from Joel Gilbert about how Pam Bondi folded to public pressure in the Trayvon Martin case and brought charges against George Zimmerman, which ultimately did not stick because George Zimmerman engaged in self-defense when a 16-year-old kid who was bigger than him was on top of him, punching him bloody, and could have killed him. So he exercised self-defense. Florida's a stand-your-ground state. No charges, but yet the country was torn apart by that. That was a huge failing by Pam Bondi, and she revealed in her first press conference that she didn't even know what was going on at the Department of Justice. That was our first official whiff that there was real serious lack of control of the department. So thank you, Gunther, but I will not rest assured. What do you mean very loud thanks to Adams? What are you thanking him for? I don't get it. No thanks to Adams. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very concerned about this. We're going to have to watch this case very closely. That's basically all I had to say for right now. I wanted to see what was going on up there at the Roosevelt. You know, Eric Adams could assemble the cops overnight and say, hey, the new policy is anybody selling food out of a cooler that's not a licensed food vendor gets arrested. He was also double talking about whatever it is he's planning to do at Rikers Island. That's the thing he had to walk back. He said that the police aren't involved in civil enforcement. But I don't understand. Civil enforcement, that's what the sheriffs do. That's enforcing stuff from the courts, like a court order or a lawsuit. How could something that somebody does that's illegal, I mean, of course the police don't get involved in civil enforcement, they get involved in law enforcement. But if you're breaking the law, we're going to have to watch this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please become a sponsor. Go to odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com, or subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Thanks for watching, everybody. Troubling times. I hope Trump